But the evolution of what went on during the 40s in Germany and Italy, the Italians caught on pretty quickly to what Mussolini was doing, and as you know, they hung him upside down and cut his throat.
Right.
Along with his girlfriend, who I didn't think deserved it, but anyway, they did her as well. And it was this propaganda, this brainwashing, this Goebbelsism, if you want to call it that, the same thing that's being used today in the Western world by all governments, but in particular the British and the U.S. government.
And this is, like Islam, this is nothing new. I mean, this has been around for a very long time with a very specific goal, and it's finally culminating. And I've told people before, you know, it's all of this has stopped being about liberal versus conservative or Republican versus Democrat or right versus left. It's come down to right versus wrong.
And the enemy doesn't know any wrong. It's situation ethics. There is no wrong. Whatever they want to do is right.
Right.
There are no laws. I mean, look at the president breaking something he co-sponsored. He knows what the law is. He's an attorney. And he deliberately breaks the law. Do we really want a man like that as president? His ratings are now around, approvals probably around 49%, because his minus is 36 and his plus is 34 for those who are very opinionated. So I projected in January that he would be at 40 in September, October, and he's fast headed there. In the following year, I think he'll get down to around 30. And the year after that, the year before re-election, he'll be at 15 if he's still there.
And this is nothing, you know, as a conservative and as someone who's politically involved, we watch this and we think, are these people insane? Are they this stupid? And the problem is, insanity and stupidity have nothing to do with it. This is exactly what they want to do. And they believe they can do whatever they want to do. After all, isn't that what Harry Reid said when it came to the Burris situation? We can do whatever we want. I mean, they really believe they are above everything. And it's like, okay, we're in power, so we have the power to do whatever we want. Forget about that little pesky document called the U.S. Constitution. It's just in our way. We'll find a way around it.
That's right. And, you know, the last administration was a prima facie example of politics run wild. But, you know, if you understand the situation, sure, we think they were running wild, when in fact they were only taking orders. This is part of a vast plan that I've been writing about and talking about for 50 years. I mean, Gary Allen and I worked on None Dare Call It Conspiracy, a famous book. Gary wrote it.
I have that book, as a matter of fact. I have that book.
Gary was my partner for years. Unfortunately, over 20 years ago, he died from the complications of diabetes. And at that time, Ed Griffin and Alan Stang and I and he were all very good friends. Anthony Hilder, and we realized and knew what was going on, but very few were willing to listen.
None Dare Call It Conspiracy by Gary Allen with Larry Abraham, introduction by Congressman John G. Schmitz. This book, copyright 1971. I have a 1972 copy, which my father had, and I got it from him when he passed away in 1999. And the very first chapter, the title of the first chapter is this. This is the title. Don't confuse me with facts.
Yeah, Larry Abraham is deceased as well. And it wasn't long, about 10 years after that, their collaboration ended. And then Gary Allen and I published the Gary Allen Report starting in around 1977. And he had come to me because he didn't have a newsletter, and he wanted me to write the financial side of it, and he would write the political, social side. I said, that's terrific. And incidentally, in that, I never took a dime. I wrote for nothing for like 15 years. All the money went to Gary. Because I had a very good job, and as a stockbroker, I made millions of dollars. And so I didn't need it. And so I said, you keep it. In fact, after he died, I kept the publication up for about 3 years, and all of the funds went to his wife. That's just the way I do business.
Well, you know, folks, all of those things that you've always heard, all of those crazy stories about what people in secret meetings are wanting to do. And no, I don't think it's a bunch of guys in black suits with black briefcases on the top floor of some building with black helicopters flying overhead. But there is definitely something going on. And it's being bankrolled by the bankers, and it's being executed by the politicians. And they finally have seen their opportunity for the major push. We have been softened up enough to blindly accept it, except that we're not going to blindly accept it, or at least I'm not. This is the reason why we have these episodes. This is why Political Pistachio is on the air, to inform and educate, to get this information out. And this is very important stuff, folks. Bob Chapman is a phenomenal guest, and I'm glad we have him on the air with us. And we're getting ready to approach the final moments of this interview. But I want folks to understand, Bob Rainier and Bob Roselli and a number of other guests I've had who, also talk about this. This is, and every time we mention something like this, there's always someone out there, put on the tinfoil hat. Because they have done so good at demonizing the truth. Demonized it to the point that when you begin to hear it, you don't want to hear it. You put your hands over your ears because it's just a bunch of conspiracy stuff. Oh, it's just those kooky people. And you don't listen. Deception has been sold to you, lock, stock, and barrel. And you not only have accepted that deception, you have been trained not to listen to the truth. Well, the truth has been on tonight, right here on Political Pistachio Radio. And this program will continue to give the truth as long as I'm allowed to be on the air, be it here on Blog Talk Radio or wherever. Bob Chapman, how can folks learn more about your organization?
Well, the International Forecaster is about business, finance, economic, social, political issues all over the world. We publish by email on Wednesdays and Saturdays, runs around 35 or 40 pages each time, and anything that you need to know is there. We also have a hard copy that goes out twice a month for those of you who are not on the Internet. If you want to get a free introductory copy, there are 3 ways you can do that. The first one is to go to our site, and that address is theinternationalforecaster.com. theinternationalforecaster.com. You can ask a question or request a copy by email. That address is Bob, B-O-B, at INTFORECASTER.com, Bob at intforecaster.com, or you can call toll-free 877-479-8178. That's 877-479-8178.
And also, if you want to subscribe, follow them on Twitter, you can do so as well. If you go to theinternationalforecaster.com, right there on the front page, it will have options for you to add them to your social network. Twitter, StumbleUpon, Facebook, Delicious, Technorati, all the way down. There's no reason why you can't be receiving the information this site offers. And I've visited a handful of times after I had you on the program the last time, and I meant to sit down. It's funny because I meant to sit down and spend about 5-10 minutes with it, and then get done some other stuff. And I wound up on the site for much longer. There's a plethora.
Well, our average visit is 10 or 15 minutes, and it's about 7 pages. So when we get reports on hits, they're real hits. And it's one of the most popular sites on the Internet. And, of course, the government's very unhappy about that because they don't want the public to know the truth. And that's why I'm very unpopular with the government.